I want to talk about the concept of integrity versus likability. I oftentimes find that a lot of us struggle with this intense innate need to people please or assimilate as much as possible because we've been taught our whole lives that our internal compass is wrong and leads us astray, therefore leaves us susceptible to harm and criticism. And so we not only develop this avoidance of our internal compass and what feels right to us, but at the same time, we give away too much power to other people's opinions and judgments of us as a litmus test to our self-worth. There's this concept that I'm sure you guys have heard of before where you're not supposed to be liked by everyone. And although I think a lot of neurodivergent folks can understand this in theory, that doesn't necessarily align with our actual core instincts and those instincts of needing to survive, needing to fit in. Because I understand a lot of the times our ability to be liked goes hand in hand with our ability to be accepted, our ability to therefore thrive in an environment and maybe even survive in an environment. And so, yes, it is so valid for us to learn how to prioritize our likability over whether or not we're honoring ourselves and our integrity. But at the same time, we need to practice making our choices consciously. And what that means is you should always be checking in with yourself anytime you're faced with a decision. Anytime you need to respond to something or someone, and ask yourself, what do I want to do? That should be the first thing. What do I want to do? What feels right to me? And then from there, assess the situation and the people involved objectively, without any bias, without any sort of conditioned response. Observe and see if there's a way to align what you think you should do versus what you want to do. And you will start to realize there's going to be way more situations than not where you can align the two and still make it out on the other end unscathed. Yes, some people might think you're annoying. Yes, maybe some people might misunderstand your intentions and judge you negatively. But at the end of the day, you make it out on the other end okay, feeling good about what you did, feeling like you made the right decision despite one or two people not seeing it in the same ways as you. Honoring ourselves doesn't always have to come at the cost of whether or not we believe we're a good person or whether or not we're lovable. And likewise, other people are allowed to dislike you, whether or not it's justified. Other people are allowed to dislike you, and you don't have to make it your job to prove to them why you are likable. Have you ever thought to yourself, maybe someone just needs to express hatred? Maybe someone needs to dislike you because that dislike for you shines a light on something within themselves that they have to address if they so choose to introspect on it. Sometimes being disliked isn't the worst thing. Sometimes being disliked is actually a catalyst for a lot of beautiful downloads about yourself that can further deepen your understanding of yourself. And the thing is, as a neurodivergent person, you are going to be a mirror to a lot of people because the way that you fundamentally process and live is different. You are going to trigger a lot of people even when you're not trying. At some point, you just have to accept, you know what? I'm going to trigger people. They either process their own triggers and introspect on why they feel triggered by me, or they're going to avoid introspection and just blame me for feeling that sense of hatred and trigger. But either way, I'm going to trigger something in people. And my job isn't to go in and fix it and make myself more tolerable for them or more likable to them, but to simply just hold space for other people's responses to me. And that doesn't mean you have to take on whatever issues or energy that comes up for them. It just means that you're able to take note of it happening and how they decide to move through it or how they decide to not move through it without letting it be a responsibility that you grab from their hands and take on as your own. You committing yourself to be a likable person is like you going over to everyone and taking their homework away from them, even if they want to do it. And you're like, okay, let me just do it for you. Stop doing that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Let people do their own homework. Let them learn their own lessons and let them reap the benefits of those learned lessons. If that's what I have to say to finally get it through your heads to stop taking on other people's emotional densities and doing the labor for them, then I'm going to say it. You doing emotional labor on other people's behalf and constantly trying to make yourself likable to them is you essentially taking away their own blessings that would have come out of them doing that emotional labor for themselves and doing that inner work for themselves. You are taking that opportunity away from them because you can't sit with the discomfort of being a person that mirrors and triggers something in others. That's something to think about. You hate sitting with the discomfort of other people possibly disliking you and being triggered by you so much that you want to, in a panic state, go and take on all of that work that is meant for them, bring it into your own little corner and do it all yourself. And then they're left with nothing. On top of it, you're overworked and enabling that self-hatred. Let's break the cycle, you guys. Let's break the cycle. This isn't as simple as, I just don't like being disliked. I want people to know I'm a good, kind person and I want them to see it. And if they don't see it, I'm going to make sure they can see it. I want to prove myself to them. Stop proving yourself to people who don't want to see you. And stop trying to take away other people's truth if they do see you and still decide that's not really their cup of tea. Let people live in their own truth, regardless of if you agree with it or not. It's that simple. Just like how they're allowed to live in their truth, you are also allowed to live in your truth. You are also allowed to think to yourself, I like myself. I like these qualities. Other people might think it's annoying or frustrating, but I like it. And that's all that matters. And when you make that switch over from I prioritize my likability over to I'm going to now prioritize my integrity, your life is going to fundamentally change. And it's not necessarily that you are objectively a better person or not. It's not like you're magically going to be more successful, more lovable, whatever. It's just no matter what circumstances you are in, you're gonna feel better. And I think that's something for us to really process here. What are all the ways that you are sacrificing your own integrity for the sake of being likable? And how can you, moving forward, right here, right now, start to honor your integrity over your likability? But with that being said, stay regulated, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.